Hello, welcome to the Honest Wargamer. I'm your host, Rob. I hated that. We're your hosts.
It worked. Ish. I feel like I came in a little bit late.
Yeah.
Can we do a redo?
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the show. It's round 5 of the Battle of Copenhagen, a real-life event that, because of the sensible behaviours of the TOs, has been moved to TTS for obvious reasons. And so we have gone through 4 rounds. We've seen highs, we've seen lows, we've seen Nurgle, we've seen Daughters of Cain. We've seen a whole bunch of armies. We haven't seen 18 units of 5 Blade Guys Revenants, but we wish we had. Boo.
Boo.
Boo. However, yeah, we are back and very excited to talk about this final round. Now, the only 2 players that have gone through this whole tournament and ended up with 4 victories and 0 losses is the 2 players we're going to see play in this match. So a very exciting match to see who takes out the event. But
One of these will win.
One of these will win. Yeah.
Or it's going to be a draw and be really awkward. But,
and the important part is there is at least one GOAT. That's what we need. There's one GOAT.
And as we found out last game, he is the crutch.
Yeah, he's the key. He's the key. So welcome everyone to the show. Very, very excited. Me and Adam, our table boss for today is the gorgeous Matt, intern Matt. He's going to be giving us all of that table boss info. Very excited to see this match. Very excited to see this match as it unfolds. Adam, would you have predicted that we would have seen these 2 armies play against each other?
Not against each other. I was expecting at least one Tzeentch person to be on a 4-0 in the final, but to have 2 Tzeentch players both on 4-0 going against each other is just
heartbreaking.
Yeah, it's great, right? You know, if you can't have Seraphon, you get Tzeentch.
Well, so the important point to point out, like Adam has said, if we're talking about the meta, the most represented army at this 50-person event was 7 Tzeentch armies. 7 Tzeentch armies. There are only 2 Seraphon armies, and neither of the 2 Seraphon builds is what we would call atypical. They were very, very out there. They were quite weird. They weren't what we necessarily see for competitive Seraphon builds. Also, no Idoneth Deepkin at this event. So both the Seraphon, tournament-winning armies in of themselves, and also Deepkin, a gatekeeper, or maybe even just tournament-winning armies themselves, has allowed Tzeentch to dominate this tournament.
Very, very well here.
Very well.
I think all of the Tzeentch are either on a 4-0 or at least 3 wins by the looks of it. We've got a lot of Tzeentch in the top bracket. A lot of Tzeentch. I think there's like 3 Tzeentch just in the top 10 at the moment.
Yeah, so it's very Tzeentch heavy, which is why our final, the 2 players, Mr. Stephen Follows, who we had on last round, and Antu, who we had on yesterday, are 2 Tzeentch forces played against each other. They're different hosts, though, so at least we've got a Tzeentch
some kind
war.
Of difference.
Some kind of difference, and it is different. So we have a Hosts Arcanum list with Archeon, who we saw play last game, and of course Kairos, Geminids, Darkfire Demon Rift, which is going to be wild.
Oh my god, that's going to be amazing.
There's no spell ignore in this army apart from an Archeon, and then a unit of 10 pink horrors. But most importantly, get ready for it, Goat Watch.
Here we go. Welfare check on the goat.
Where is the goat?
He's on the board already. He's on the board.
He's already deployed. Oh my god, Goat Watch.
He's there.
Okay, there
he's
he
like,
is. Goat
I'm
Watch.
here. And let's go, boys. I'm here before you all.
So that is the Host Arcanum force pre-game move from these flying units. So that'll be Kairos, Tzeentch, Devolve in the list as well, which is a spell that Kairos can cast because the Great Brave Shaman is on, which will drag a unit towards it. Imagine like if anyone played Mortal Kombat, Scorpions get over here. It's a hook that you throw and you drag people towards you. That's exactly what it is. Up against the Change Host list we saw dominate that Karajan Overlords list yesterday, Adam. The 2 Exalted Flamers of Tzeentch, 2 units of 6 Flamers of Tzeentch, 2 lots of 10 pink horrors, and then, of course, a Lord of Change in a 1-drop Change Host. How do you fancy the chances? Oh, and just finally for everyone, battle plan, Border War. Your objective is worth 1, your opponent's objective is worth 4, and the 2 objectives in the middle are worth 2. How do you fancy this Tzeentch mirror, Adam? What are your initial thoughts?
I mean, Change Host is just naughty, right? It's just a horrific battalion. So he's going to be able to teleport one of those units every turn. No consequences, just gets to do it. Which means, obviously, on this mission, he's going to be able to move a lot of things just straight onto the objectives and block the Stevens list, his Archeon build, from sort of getting into his home territory, which is going to be quite interesting. But the Archeon list does have a lot of damage output in Archeon himself, and he's going to be able to clear 10 pink horrors like they're nothing. He is just going to be able to walk through pink horrors like they're paper. So even though you look at the chain shows and you see a lot of wounds on there, all those wounds are paper wounds, and it's sort of just like, how much damage can Archeon do? How much work is he going to throw out?
Yeah, of course. Now, if you guys are watching at home, I would settle in. This is going to be a slow game, I'm pretty certain. And do you want to know why I've said that, Adam?
Why have you said this?
Because I'm hoping that somehow that makes the gods force it to not be. Yeah, that's the only way. Yes. I think if I mention
you're hoping Zinch changes.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Oh, wait, have I not put the other list in the chat? Antu's list should be in there. Stephen's list is in there. Both lists are in the chat, gentlemen. Both lists are in the chat. I'm pretty certain I did that. Yeah.
You did. You got this.
There you go. Those are the lists in the chat for you guys. So yeah, and the reason that it's going to be slow is because both forces are paper thin. And what I mean by that is Archeon is a big bully power piece, but the Tzeentch force is very fragile. The other Tzeentch force, sorry, so the chain shows. We'll just talk about the chain shows versus the host lists. That's the easy way. The chain shows list is very fragile. It wants to keep those those flamers alive as long as possible. It's got more wounds in the army as well, in those 2 big bricks of pink horrors. So 100 wounds of pink horrors in here. And the other thing is, both players pretty much looking forward to casting spells. Both players going to benefit from fate points at the same time.
Yeah,
it's going to be.
it's funny because they won't really have to keep track of both players' fate points, because they're just going to know, if you've got that many, I've got that many.
That's how it works.
It's easy.
Yeah. So
super simple.
I mean, there's going to be the first win here, Adam, between these two players as we see them deploy, is going to be who ends up with the best Destiny dice.
And as we saw from Stephen's game in the last one, he's not doing quite well with those Destiny dice today. What was it? 4 5s, a 3, and some 2s. That was all he got. So he's got to hope that he's got to get better Destiny dice than that. And he wants that double 6 in there, so he can also charge or auto kill the Lord of Change, because Lord of Change, going in sword.
Yeah, so the big question is do you want... Now, there are some other sweet-ass matches happening all around the board. Around the tournament. There is a Armand Owen Jackson in a Khorne mirror match. A Khorne mirror match, 2 Archeons against each other.
2 Archeons fighting out. I just want to see both of them go in the sword, because they can fight on death. So hopefully one will put one in the sword, and then the other one will put the other one in the sword.
Yeah, if
anyone... And they'll simultaneously...
Yeah, simultaneously. Duel in the sword. Why not show that match? Because this is the match for the win. And this, as much as we love Owen, yeah, I mean, if we were just jumping around between insane matches, I would also go watch the 18 units of 5 Blade Geist Revenants win, or play games. Like, so, but they did, yeah, they did win their last game, so they have won 1. But my point is it's all about who wins the tournament, and so that's what we're here for. And there's going to be
it's about who's got the best painted models. Painting meta.
It's true.
Here we go.
There's no data that this will be good. I did not see the guy who's got an all Shrek Ogre army, and I wish I had. This is heartbreaking.
I believe that's Pask.
Yeah,
I think Pask.
Is it? Love Pask.
It's either Pask or Stuart. One of them's got a Shrek Ogre army, and it looks horrific. It looks awful.
Rob, don't forget this is mainly a narrative channel, so that's why we cover the top end tournament games here.
100%. Because this is where the best narrative is. As you can see, it's a Tzeentch civil war, and Archeon's like, no lads, this is my territory, and they're like, whoa, whoa, whoa. So this is pre being blessed by Tzeentch, I reckon, and he's like just getting in there, and it's like this is the final showdown to when he's finally going to get Tzeentch's favour. There you go, narrative all over, boom, smashed it.
Yeah. So this Archeon, actually, let's talk about the path to victory a little bit. It's had to defeat 2 other Archeons to get here, as you can see, and both of those Archeons, based upon his base, right there. So he's already had to defeat a lot of pretenders in his path to victory. And we obviously saw Steven with his Archeon go up against Matt's Lumineth Realm Lords last game. We saw yesterday, we saw the path to victory for Antu. We saw him play against the Kharadron Overlords list, and it looked very dicey on certain matchups. Fold Reality is on the Lord of Change, used on those Flamers to great effect this time.
Such a good spell.
Such a good spell. The Fate Master there is going to give rerolls to hit. The Lord of Change has got an artifact that's +1 to wound to units within 9 inches. So those Flamers are going to do some amazing work. The key point there here, though, is that Archeon needs to get into the Flamers real quick. He needs to avoid as much of the horrors as possible and just get into the Flamers. And the reason that I say that is because he just needs to get rid of that output, because those Flamers could very definitely just take Archeon off the board.
That's the only real output in the army as well, isn't it? So the only like proper output that Antu's got in that chain chase is from the Flamers. The rest of the army doesn't really do a lot. Like we talk about how good chain chase is, but actually in the actual list, there's not much that he does.
I will caveat that, and I think actually you'll be amazed. So some of the other lists that we've seen with Pink Horrors have been, the output has been fine, but because of, so if we look at the two different hosts and what you get for the two different hosts, Eternal Conflagration, most importantly, that gives you rend on all your shooting. Really, really important there. It also means you can make Flames battle line, but that's not really that important. Host Arcanum, they get you those unbinds, and of course you also get that pre-game move as well. So you're going to be able to automatically unbind a spell on the first, second, and third turn for the Host Arcanum list. But where the Eternal Conflagration list has got, like, I think significant output is there's also a Fate Master in there for rerolls to hit, and there's also the artifact which gives plus to wound. So if you think about it, 10 Pink Horrors is 30 shots. If they get the spell off so that they get +1 to hit, they're hitting on 4s, re-rolling, wounding on 3s, rend 1 with 60 shots. No, is it? Hold on. No, sorry.
Yeah,
they're 3 shots each, aren't they? They're 3 shots each.
We'll have a look. We will check.
I did know. I went into that. Right? I went into that being like, I know exactly what this is.
I got this. I believe.
And I use these all the time. This is the one unit I'm 100% up on.
Yeah, 3 shots each.
Yeah, 3 shots each. So 90 shots. No, 30 shots.
Yeah, 30 shots from a unit of 10. You said that to start with, and then you went to 90. So 30 shots with all of that.
Thank you to Commissara. Wait, Commissura. Thank you to Commissara Zura for raiding with 24 viewers, which is amazing. I appreciate you. If you guys have just joined us, we are a narrative channel who does tournament coverage.
All the narrative.
Yeah.
Also, the painting meta is the biggest part of this.
We're also very involved in painting. We do tournament coverage pretty much exclusively. And right now, we're in round 5 of a 5-round TTS Age of Sigmar event. 2,000 points. Both the two armies that you're about to see are playing each other, have gone 4-0, so they've won 4 games in their path to victory to this final. Whoever wins this is going to win the tournament. And even though it's online, it's representing a real-life event that can't happen because of COVID, so they're doing it online. And there's still prizes. There's still prizes for people who win.
Loads of prizes. They've got prizes. Massive prize support, which is super cool. And it's going to get sent to anyone who wins. So anyone all around the world, because this isn't just because this is usually in Copenhagen, right? So they have this tournament in, sort of middle of Europe-ish. Bad geography, but but there's people literally like all around the world playing. There's people from like Australia, America, Canada, so which we would never play in this.
Malaysia.
So that is like cool, right?
Yeah.
Malaysia. Yeah. Mental.
Yeah, absolutely wild. Japan.
Everyone.
Japan. Iron Gutsman Stewart is actually in Japan. Yeah. Well, he's in Japan, so it's from Japan. That's the science.
We're just having like an argument about, who's from Japan and if they are Japanese or not. Okay, cool.
Right, yeah. So if you guys are wondering what the lists are, you can type !lists. If you want to see the event information, you can type !event. All of that will bring up the data. We can see the drops going down here now. There's a lot to go on. There's a lot to talk about. There's going to be all of those shots, those 30 shots, we finally worked it out, from the Pink Horrors, could do some phenomenal work. But do you know what I mean? So those 2 units of Pink Horrors, potentially 60 shots, 4s re-rolling, 3s to wound, rend 1. That's a lot of shots.
It is a
you get out
lot.
of those
It is
big
a lot, to
horrors.
be fair. But are they going to do a lot? Like Archeon, he's going to be sat on a 3-up save. He's just going to be like, nah, mate, don't care. Whatever.
No, but the most important thing for this battle, and every battle from this point on, is two things. Number one, Goat Watch, and the Goat's alive.
We
That's
love the
vital.
goat.
And then also, will Kairos generate another Steve the Spawn? All spawns from any live coverage I ever do for the rest of time, which will be, based on the UK events popping up, will be a billion.
Literally
events.
all of them. I don't think they're going to be stopping.
Thankfully,
anytime.
honestly, thankfully, a couple of them don't like me, and I'm actually really over the moon
Oh,
about that.
brilliant.
That's a weekend off.
At least you get a break. Make more enemies, get more time.
I'm actually really happy about that. Like, coming to this event, no, he hates me, and I'm really happy about that.
Good. Excellent. Well, that's all you want then, isn't it?
Team and Cash, I'm so happy to see a game where Zinch is guaranteed to lose.
Well, they're not guaranteed because they could draw, but you know.
Yeah, the important point here is, again, just talk about the meta of the event. No Ideth Deepkin, only 2 Seraphon. Zinch, the most popular army here, 7 of the 50 players. And and both of these 2 players, both Antu and Steven, are regular players. They play a lot. They've got some real good knowledge behind them. So it makes sense as to why they've done so well and they've ended up at this event. So lots to unpack here. Zinch, sorry, not Zinch. That's going to be really unhelpful. The change host list at the bottom is going to get to choose who goes first. They get the choice. They're like, who goes first? And whether or not they're going to give the turn away to Archeon. Are we going to see them just teleport over 6 Flamers and just try and punk as many attacks into Archeon as possible? It's to be seen. They've got a 27-inch threat range. They are at the back of the board, so I'm going to go for no.
They're definitely going for that teleport, aren't they?
I don't think so. I think they're giving the turn away, and they're like, go on then, throw Archeon in the middle so I can hit you with 1 billion shots. That's what I think they're going to do.
If you were Archeon and you got given the first turn, what would you be doing then?
Do not run into the middle. Is the answer. I probably just use the Screamers to just go cap objectives. So I take the 2 units to 6 Screamers, 2 units to 3 Screamers, go cap an objective, and then make it so my opponent has to get on. See, the important point here is the Flamers can shoot them off the objective, but that doesn't mean they go and claim the objective. So you would have to trade off. So you would have to take those units of Brimstone Horrors that you can see there. They would have to run on the objective with the Flamers, getting in range to get them. So if you put the Screamers, let's say you put the Screamers here, right? You then have to be 27 inches away, or not 27, sorry, 18 inches away with the actual Flamers to take them off the board. If you do that, that means you're in the mid-board, and then Archeon, oh baby, he's going to go and smash your face into pieces. So that's what I'd do if I was Archeon. But we'll see. He might not. Steven, as we saw yesterday, or not yesterday, earlier today, is an exceptional gamer. Really good decision making.
Yeah, it was amazing that last game.
I'd be terrified to play him on the actual tabletop. He is, I mean, I'd be terrified to play him on a TTS as well. But yeah, like really, really good. Antu, we know, is very considered, very thoughtful, very, very intentional in his decision making. So so he won't try to make any mistakes, and will put as much thought and time and effort into thinking about that problem as possible. So it's going to be some long decision times. So Twitch chat, get some hot questions ready for us, because we're in it for the long run. I'll have you know, I've put my slippers on. This isn't going to be quick.
I want to know what slippers now. Like, what slippers were you going for? Have we got like fairy princess unicorns on them, or like, you know? Oh yeah, send me all your feet pics.
It's not good coverage. Table Boss and Adam should not be allowed to talk to each other. It's my decision in the future.
I wonder why. Why not?
Thanks, Pete, for the translation. That's 100% correct.
Yeah, I doubt that very much. I'm aiming for a turn 2.
But understand this, me and Adam will try and bring you all of the good stories that we can of this game and make it as entertaining as possible, but this is a two-way street, Twitch chat. You guys have got to be with us. You need
to be with us, man.
We're in this together. Horido Martin, question, what did I have for lunch? Thanks for asking. I went out and had a vegetarian sausage roll. which was
Nice.
lovely. And I sat in the sunshine, and it was the best hour of my whole life. I loved it. It was really good. So yeah, really enjoyed that. Don't forget, host players will also get... I know, don't worry, N.A. Brooks, I promise you, as a host player myself... Okay, oh, Destiny Dice. Antu doing the first set of Destiny Dice. Let's go see Antu's Destiny Dice, because...
He wants the 1s and the 6s.
He does want the 1s and 6s. These are the things you want. 1s and 6s, no 2s. Stephen getting 5 2s last turn. Oh, he's got 2 6s and a 1.
Pretty good spread.
Bit of everything. That's a good spread. Let's go. Let's see how Stephen does with his Destiny Dice.
He's going to get all the 2s again.
Oh, a 1 and a 6. That's no 5s either. That's rough. That is better than last game. The reason I say that's rough is one of the things he really, really wants to do is guarantee a 9-inch charge for an agenda, or he wants a double 6 for a big, crazy long charge. So the best charge he can potentially produce now is a 10.
Yeah, and he has to use that 6 to get a 9-inch charge. So if he wants that auto 9, he has to use that 6. He can't just use a 5 and a 4, which is going to be a bit awkward for him.
So we're now seeing D3 units are going to make a pre-game move. That's a Host Arcanum ability. So a pre-game move, and it is Archeon. He does it every time. He's not scared, is he?
Nah, why would you be?
Scared.
Just go for it.
Yeah. So he's intending to stay out of the Flamer's threat range, but of course he is. I already said that. Yeah,
so
27.
He has to teleport then, doesn't he? If he wants to shoot Archeon, it means he has to teleport and stay out of his aura ranges, so he won't get all those buffs. So if he does want to commit some Flamers to Archeon, he's going to commit Flamers that aren't going to be buffed up very well at all.
Yeah. So, and there we go. There's the Screamers, which I almost guarantee are going to go on jump onto those objectives. That's going to be the point of the Screamers, and then just to bait those Flamers in, because then the Flamers really have got 2 jobs to do. Now there are 2 units of 6 Flamers. That is 20 shots, which, if in the right situation, can be 2s and 3. No, 2s and 2s. So Flamers are normally 4s and 2s. That's what they are. Let me just go make sure I get this right for you. I'm pretty certain I'm right. So
I think they're normally 4s and 3s, aren't they? But they get +1 to
4s
wound
and
for the
3s.
change.
Yeah, you get +1 from an Exalted. So +1 from the Exalted, so that'll give you 3s and 3s. Or if you're targeting a unit with 10 or more models, you can add. You can give them +1. So really, what you're talking about there is, it's not quite 20 shots. It's 19 shots because you've only got 1 Pyrocaster. So 19 shots, 2s and 2s, rend 1, D3 damage, and he's got that twice, 38 shots, and then he's got 2 Exalted Flamers. Has he got 2 or 1?
It looks like 1. 2.
So that's an additional 12 shots. An additional 12 shots there. The +1 to wound is coming from an artifact that's on the Lord of Change. Yeah, so it's just really good. First turn. This is the board, gentlemen. We're playing Border War. The 2 center objectives, they're worth 2 points. Your opponent's objective was worth 4. Your objective was worth 1. The turn, Change Host has got to choose who goes first. They've given it away to Big Papa Archeon. What's he going to do? He's measuring...
He looks like he's measuring it. I really hope. Just all the way in. Oh, he's gone for the agenda for the 9-inch charge. So is he just going to go, Archeon, let's go, lad. Just go straight in.
Yeah.
That's what I'm hoping for. I just want to see Archeon stuck in.
What, just kill 10 pink horrors? No, not 10 brimstones.
Get in there, boy.
So the first thing that's happening is he's summoning a unit of Flamers, which is an artifact, the Fanged Circlet. Screamers of Tzeentch. The Fanged Circlet is what he's using. So he's summoning those. They're on the board. And then he's going to be able to just... I don't know what he's going to do with them right now, to be honest. I think maybe he'll zone out. Not sure. I think
he's got to be really careful of that his home objective, because obviously Change Host can teleport anywhere on the board, and Stephen hasn't got a lot of stuff to zone out with. So he's going to have to use those units that he potentially wants to push forward just to screen out his home objective, because to Antu, that objective is worth 4.
But the thing is, the major threats for Antu are, of course... the major threats that he has are his Flamers. That's going to be the important part. And he's not going to teleport those over, but maybe he will. We'll not see. Now, don't forget that Antu has also got some great dice as well. He's got 2 6s, 2 5s. Super important. So if he does manage to teleport, one of those units of pink horrors, he can just whip them onto an objective with a long bomb charge. You always have to deploy 9 inches away from a deep strike, but Tzeentch don't care about that because they can just roll any charge roll they want. They can just choose the result.
They just get it.
They can just choose the result. It's only really other armies that are the paupers who have to roll dice. It's all about...
Why are we going to roll dice in this game?
Age of Sigmar 2021 is all choosing results. No rolling. We just choose what we want to happen. That's the right decision, I think.
That seems completely reasonable, to be fair. Soon we're just going to turn up with our army book and be like, I've got Tzeentch, what have you got? Oh, you've got Orcs. Yeah, I auto win because my Tzeentch says, my book says so. And it's going to be more like rocks, paper, scissors. So you turn up to your table and there's a chart that tells you who you win or not.
It's much quicker.
That's it.
And then we can focus
like a 20-round tournament.
And then we can focus on the main point of Age of Sigmar, and that's the painting meta. That's what we get to focus on.
Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. A quick one here. Goat Watch. He's alive. Right.
What is that goat going to be doing?
Right, so a little bit of a switch up. So we've got Shield of Fate cast onto Kairos. That's going to give him reroll saves. And we've got Oracular Vision cast onto Archeon. A bit of a difference versus last game, Adam.
Yeah, so the Chaos Sorcerer Lord in that last game was using that vision ability on himself to try and keep himself alive from the Sentinels. But that ability only affects Slaves to Darkness units, so he kind of has to, if he wants the Shield of Fate on Lord Kairos, he has to put the Ocular Visions on Archeon because it's the only thing it affects.
Yeah, 100%. Now, we've just seen the Destiny dice used to definitely cast Spell Portal. There it is. It's cast. And that means he's going to be able to do a spell through it. Fascinated if we're going to see Steve the Spawn re-emerge.
I hope
right
so.
Now.
It's all I want.
I hope so. Now, don't forget, you can just he can cast on whatever he likes, and if he wants to, the Lord of Change. Wow! So he's cast Devolve on the pink horrors. That's what he's done.
He's going to be moving them 2d6 inches towards himself. So those pink horrors are going to be going 2d6 straight forward, but they're going to hit the Brimstone unit, so they're only going to be moving like 3-4 inches anyway.
That
potentially have to pull through the gap though.
11 inches he moved. 11
have to
inches.
Go through that little gap, so that where you see the gaps in that first Brimstone screen, those pink horrors are going to have to move through it because that is the closest they'll be able to get. Which then means Archeon's just going to be able to literally walk forward and just hit the pink horror straight away.
Why didn't he unbind it? Can't you measure from the portal like to
no,
unbind?
So unbinds have to go directly to the caster. So if you have portal out there, you don't measure two portals unbind. You have to go to the caster still.
Amazing.
Portal, love it.
Love it. Love it. So that's the Umbral Spell Portal. If you guys are interested, that's a endless spell. That's what you see in here. It's taken by so many people, so it extends the range of a spell. So Kairos has cast a spell through the Umbral Spell Portal, and it's ended up here, and then it's been used to drag this unit. And that's the reason we've got Goat Watch. This entire move is only available because the most powerful faction in Age of Sigmar, the Beasts of Chaos, have indeed blessed Tzeentch with a buff in allowing them to move forward here. This gives us a great opportunity to talk about deck chairs and the terrain that we're looking at here. As you can see, sand and a nice little like chilling zone that we can hang out in. Deck chair units, so units that you just hang out at the back and you just sit on back objectives. There really isn't many of them here, is there? Because there's this unit of 10 pink horrors. They're going to be deck chairing probably on this back objective to hold it for most of the game, I'd say, Adam. What about you?
Yeah, I think those pink horrors potentially just going to go into that. They might go to that left objective, just so that you've got some more stuff on it. But I think what you probably do is just throw those screamers up, and then you have your pink horrors to zone out of that objective at the back, and then obviously you got 50 wounds sat on it, which is always nice. So yeah, I honestly don't know which way they're going to go. I think both plans is a good idea at this point.
Well, so as you can see now, look at what Devolver's done to this game. It has changed the shape of it very specifically. So it's put. Oh wow, two things that have happened here. One, it's pulled the pink horrors out so that Archeon could get an easier charge, but more importantly, it's pulled them out of the aura of the Lord of Change. And that aura is a 9-inch bubble, 12-inch bubble, that allows you to get -1 to hit -1 to hit there, and now they're outside of that. So Archeon is going to...
that's really big, isn't it?
Yeah, Archeon is going to be not be at -1 to hit. Don't forget, he's re-rolling to hit and re-rolling to wound. There's the aggressive move in the movement phase. And here we go. And both players have got 4 fate points from that spellcasted turn.
Amazing. Because what Archeon could potentially do here, if he can clear those pink horrors, and I don't know if he'll be able to, but if he clears the brimstones as well, he's going to score himself 4 points this turn. So he can potentially just score the board this turn. I think Steve's plan is potentially just to score as much as possible, as quickly as possible, before the output comes out from those flamers.
Yeah, it seems to be a general tactic of his anyway. However, he's got as we saw in the last game, he has such good presence of mind to make sure he's conscious of everything. And this is what we're seeing Archeon do, and do so well. He's doing it in Khorne armies, he's doing it in Tzeentch armies, he's even doing it in Slaanesh armies. Because now, no matter what happens, the Change Host Force is dealing with Archeon this turn. They can't ignore it. They have to, which allows all the other units to jump on objectives, score points, and it just pins them in. It's like a swamp list. So it just pushes everything at your opponent, and that everything being Archeon, and he's just like, you have to push this out away from me before you're allowed to play the game. It's very aggressive.
I've just seen Pete Pratt in the chat has made a really good point about him, where the pink horror is about to move. Archeon, it's made space for Archeon's base to jump over the top. So if he gets a big enough charge, he'd potentially be able to get Archeon over the top and into the flamers turn 1.
It's a shame. He's going to be gutted at this stage that he was not able to get the 6, the double 6, so he's got the 12 at this point. I think moving his base over that would be very hopeful.
Yeah, I think so. But if he had those 2 6s, he'd definitely be able to do it. But I don't want to measure it. But I don't know how much
we'll
it is. If it's only a 10,
away. Yeah.
If it's only a 10 that he needs, he could use those Destiny Dice just to get that 10 to jump over. But it does look like it's going to be more than that.
Oh, Brad Pitt Lord with a great combo in the chat. How about this? Use a 6, use a 4, use Kairos to turn the other 4 into a 6. If he's got the measurement, he's into that back line very early.
That is going to be big if he can do that. If he clocks that and does that, that is going to be massive.
That's only if he can fit, but we obviously don't want to measure that right now because we don't want to give any suggestions out to the players. And I think that's important. Look at that. He is minimal. That's so important what he's doing there with the Screamers. He's screening the board here against drops, and at the same time he's scoring these objectives. And I think really, I'm not sure if I'd put them that close. What I'd be looking for, I mean, you could just put them out of range of the Flamers. I mean, it's simple as that. You could just have these Screamers out of range of the Flamers so they can't even be dragged in. Yeah.
Yeah, so those Screamers, they're capping objectives, but they're also, not only are they doing that, they're screening out the whole board as well. So this is why those MSU units are important.
So we just measured, I just saw him measure, and he isn't going to be able to move his base over those over those flame horrors.
No, that would be
horrors.
Awesome though, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So that's that. So it's not going to be able to fit over it, unfortunately. So that is a shame. That is a shame. If he had any pluses to charge, then maybe, but unfortunately, no. So he's just gonna hit those pink horrors and hit them really hard. I think is going to be the key. And then, you said,
I think that's a good tactic as well. Like, just because if you clear those pink horrors as quickly as possible, that's where all his wounds are.
Yeah. Or do you think he's going to go into the brims, like you said, and just grab the 4 points?
The thing is, he has to clear those pinks as well, because he's still got 1 pink horror on the objective. So even if he clears all 10 brimstones, he has to still clear the pinks as well, because he still only counts as 1 model.
That's true. That's true. Oh, we're just seeing some measuring now.
So he's measuring that 9-inch charge because he has to make a 9-inch charge to get his agenda this turn, which he chose the 9-inch charge agenda, which if he makes a charge of 9 or more, he's going to get +1 attacks for the rest of the game. So he's just making sure that he is 9 away, so that when he makes that auto charge, he's getting that plus attack for the rest of the game.
Going to be so powerful. He didn't get Infusion Arcanum off for +1 to hit and +1 to wound, which is the other spell that Archeon's carrying around. Also, don't forget, if Archeon's alive at the end of next turn, or whenever you next get a hero phase, also Steven sat on Darkfire Demon Rift. That's going to be pretty important. Honestly, the fact that it's Hosark, that we're against Eternal Conflagration, I think Listen, I respect Archeon. I do. I'm not going to lie, but those Flamers are just going to smote him. One turn, he's dead. That's what I think.
That's fair.
I think he's done. We'll see. It's +1 attacks only if you made a charge that turn. Thank you, Peach. But he will make that 9-inch charge. So he's chosen his agenda. And Tzeentch agendas are something you choose. And then if you activate them, you get bonuses. So he definitely is doing that. And I think we're seeing this play done pretty much all the time. What's nice about this is he can do devolve. And if it doesn't happen, he can just sit off. He doesn't have to go in anyway.
It is a good thing about, obviously, devolve happening in the hero phase. You can. It's one of those things that you can sort of do right at the start and go, right, does this happen? And then you can change your game plan quite quickly. It's not like, the most important thing that he's got in the army. So there you go. The Destiny dice has been used to get that 9-inch charge into the pinks, and Archeon has gone in. I'm hoping he just nukes all those pinks, to be honest. There's only 50 wounds. It's not a lot.
I think... hello, Nacho. Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in and watching us live. This is turn one. Turn one of this match. Host Arcanum Tzeentch were given the first turn. They've activated Devolve, dragged this unit of pink arrows around a screen. It was also a massive roll on the 2d6. We're on 11?
What was that?
For the Devolve roll.
Yeah, it was an 11 for that, to bring them forward. That's how they've moved so far and dragged out of all the Lord of Changes ranges.
It's true. Yeah, out of the Lord of the Range change. I don't think he's outside of 12 inches. So that pink horror, no, he's not. So he's still going to be able to use the 1 CP he's got from his battalion, because he has got a battalion in the Change Host. So he's got a command point, so he can make those pink horrors immune to battle shock.
Yeah.
Even
or
if
he just uses the one from his Destiny dice.
Or the one from his Destiny dice, yeah. Parry Gallister, thank you, my pleasure. I hope you guys are enjoying it. Would you split attacks into brims, removing the scoring unit? No, like Adam pointed out really well, there's one... Archeon only counts as one model for scoring, and there's one pink horror here. So really, Archeon's main job is to do as much damage out of this unit of pinks as possible, and make scoring objectives super hard. Because there can be a lot of shots coming out there. They're not the main damage dealers, but they're really just there to do the wounds. I'm surprised he hasn't grabbed this top right objective. This is genuinely surprising.
I think he needed to use the 3 screamers on the left to screen out those flamers from being able to target Kairos. So he's used those so that even if the flamers now teleport, they're 18 inches away from Kairos, so they can't just shoot Kairos.
Right.
So he sort of sacrificed the points to save Kairos, basically.
That's fascinating. That is honestly fascinating. Like, I would expect... He must think that he's going to survive all those flamers.
Yeah, I think... So, the thing is, the flamers, they've got a lot of output, but they are paper. So, for Antu to actually use them, he's got to put them in dangerous places, which is why an 18-inch threat range isn't too bad. Because, obviously, once you're in that 18, you are effectively... you can be hit.
We talked about this loads yesterday, didn't we? Like 18 inches shooting is great, in my opinion, in the game. Depending, like, if it's on like a 30-inch moving model, then no. But I mean, even then, because you have to be in 18 inches to shoot the thing, and then that's danger close. Most melee units are going to be able to get you. It's why the Bloodstalkers for Daughters of Cain are so good, because it's 24 inches.
Yeah.
And I know that 6 inches like, it doesn't sound like a lot, but it's enough. You're probably unlikely to have melee units that can close that distance down. 18 inches is much more reasonable, much more likely. Flamers are very susceptible once they get into that danger close range. Now, normally, whatever is in danger close range, they've murdered, if I'm honest. So they're normally, like, because the output is really good. But it's a nice balancing piece, and they're 2 wounds each with a 5-up save. Like, they
haven't got a lot. They are paper.
They are fragile. Yeah. They're just very, very fragile. So there's like some... Wow. Twitch chat, I'm going to need you to guess. Adam, I know you already know. So Archeon has done some damage into the... Did you not hear it? Archeon has done... How much damage has Archeon done into the pink horrors? I need you guys to guess right now. That's what I want to hear.
1,000.
1,000. I want the Twitch chat to guess. This is what's going to be fun. 2, 18, 37, 1, 18, 23, 35. He's done. Get ready for it.
69
would be even better.
Awesome.
He's done 31 damage into those. 31. So that means he's killed all the pinks, and then he's killed 10 lots of blues. And then he's down to... oh no, he's killed all the blues as well. He should have killed all the blues. So he's down to 19 brims left.
Yeah, 19 brims, and that is it. And let's be honest, brims aren't doing a lot. Brims are really not doing anything except for controlling board space. That is it.
Excuse me, brims have got... I'll have you know, brims have got 2 wounds. 2 attacks in melee. We're about to see some things.
They hit on 5s, right?
Yeah.
So they'll be hitting on 6s versus Archeon and re-rolling hits of 6s.
Yes, they will. Listen, they'll be fine. That's right, though. He is going to have to force a CP usage so that command point coming out of the Lord of Change to hold on to that unit. But he's taken out like a large wound sink from that unit there, but not all of them. Like, that's what's incredible. There's still 19 wounds left in that unit, which is just mental.
Character.
Yeah.
Walks into 220 points and still doesn't kill it all. Amazing. Loved it. Easy.
Yeah, now Peach has pointed out that Fold Reality is on the Lord of Change, and I would love to see Fold Reality cast on that unit.
I would not love to see that.
That's brave as anything. But we'll see if we see those units return. That CP available from... We're going to get some pittance attacks back now. 2 units of Brimstone Horrors are going to be attacking back in return.
Doing absolutely nothing, I reckon.
They'll do nothing. A 3-up reroll will save Archeon, who's -1 to hit himself. I'm really surprised he didn't put just a 1 unit of Screamers on that objective. I know what you're saying. He's protecting Kairos. But, we'll see. Yeah.
I think it's also potentially even bait him onto that objective to almost go on it to closer to him. And then, you can swing harder, your spells be in range. Maybe that's the plan.
That's what I was saying. I think, if you just took 2 units of Screamers, you don't throw Archeon in first turn. Yeah, which I know is Stephen's kind of modus operandi, so he'd be going against his nature. But then, they would have to do something to trade off with those Screamers, and then you can hit with Archeon after. I think that's a play. But we'll see. We'll see. He seems very confident, more confident than I am, that Archeon's going to survive this shooting.
I think he has to just do it as much damage as he could, because those pinks are going to be such a problem. If he doesn't kill them in the first couple of turns, he's not killing them for the game, sort of thing.
And I suppose the only thing he has in the army that does that volume of damage is Archeon. Very much like we talked about with the Blight Kings yesterday. That DPS check, can you do all of this damage, is so vital. Another Tzeentch build, 20 pink horrors in 1 block in Host of Blisters, so that you can't retreat, is a nightmare.
It's
100 wounds.
Horrific.
And then they could be -1 to hit. You throw Geminis around, there's -2. The worst experience you'll have.
If you do not want friends, play that.
So
what was it when the book came out, when it came to Heat 1? Twitter was on fire with negative play experiences from that one list.
So they
why
do
is
have
this a thing?
Yeah, so they do have a CP, and they are within range of this Lord of Change, who is also the general. So the Brims, in close combat, the Brims did no damage to Archeon, which is
surprised.
Oh, wow. Okay, so just a little info. On 6s that had to be rerolled to hit, they still did get a wound through, but he saved it. Yeah.
Poor Brimstones.
And that command point has been spent. So we're on 3 victory points. 3 victory points for the Eternal Conflagrations each. Here we go. Twitch chat, I need you to help me out here. I need you to tell me what the situation is. Adam, the same. Is Archeon dying to all these flamers this 1 turn? That's my question to you.
I don't think so. I think Archeon's going to live.
Are you real?
Yeah, Archeon's fine.
Do you know how many shots it is? I'm against you 100%. He is going down in 1 turn.
Nah, easy. They're fine. He's fine. He's moved him into a great position because Host Arcanum turn 1. He's now got something that can auto unbind 1 spell. So Archeon's in a position to be able to start unbinding things.
So Antu's agenda is overthrow leaders. That is his agenda.
I have no idea what that does. Do you know?
Yeah, he's going to look. You're going to look it up. Killer big guy. See you later, Zaddy guy. Good luck with your job interview. Zeech, the list that keeps on giving. I will never play Zeech Rufio sides by Zeech Army. I will never play them.
Oh, here we go. Overthrow leaders. So you pick an enemy hero or monster. Let me guess, Archeon.
Yeah.
And then the ability it gives you is add 1 to save rolls for attacks that target the friendly Zinch unit that destroyed that hero or monster. So if you put it on the Flamers, and the Flamers do end up killing him, those Flamers are then going to be on a 4+. So even though they are paper now, they potentially be on that 4+, which will make them less paper. Yeah, make them card instead. There you go.
So here we go. Chris Jr. in the chat saying 60 damage coming in from the Flamers at Rend 1. That's what he reckons.
Nothing.
That is...
Easy. Archeon's fine.
He's not going to be fine. He's so dead. I don't understand this play at all. Who knows? He's
going to whiff, and he's going to be fine.
Okay.
Easy. He's got Destiny dice. He's got Kairos' Fate dice. He doesn't care. He'll be fine.
What Destiny dice does he have? He's only got 4 and 3 and a 1 left.
Doesn't matter. It's fine.
Okay, so
we're going to see the Change Host move in a minute, aren't we? What do you think he's going to use the Change Host move for?
Just grab an objective. I think grab this bottom, this uncontested objective here. I think is going to be the plan. Yeah, so he's taken the unit of the unit that he was Pink Horrors that's been exploded into Brimstones, and no, he's not. He's using them to create a bunker. Very interesting. And he's going to snake out.
We've seen Antu play quite a lot, and every time I've seen him play, he always sticks to this castle, and he sticks there for as long as possible, and slowly moves up the board, and just keeps doing things very tactically, and goes through the board, making his way in that bunker. Doing his thing, yeah. So I can see this because he's still tagging that objective. He just strings out. He's fine. He's got it. Easy. It's fine.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So you're right. He's just he's protecting himself. He's protecting himself unless Archeon, in case Archeon doesn't go down somehow. I would also make
fine.
Okay. He's not gonna. What world you're living in? He's dead. He's so dead. This is not me even big enough for the stream, so there's some fun drama. I just don't understand how he's not dead in a turn, and how Steve didn't know that. Huh?
I'll tell you how. Flamers suck. Archeon's great. He's
Flamers
fine.
So good. I will say one thing about Flamers though. And I mean this in earnest. I don't understand how Games Workshop could honestly sell them because they look like someone has just put Play-Doh together. Like, it's the worst sculpt. I
literally love the models so much.
It's the ugliest sculpt
I love them. They are great.
Christendom. No,
I own 24 of them, and I love it.
I own 15 and they look like they're so disgusting and ugly.
Also,
and
the old Finecast one's better, but
they're just rough. Like, no one, you're forgetting Salamanders wrong. I'm not forgetting Salamanders. I've painted Flamers.
Salamanders are great as well.
You can't even paint Flamers well because they look...
Yes, you can!
No.
They are the easiest thing to paint. Get an airbrush, boom, smashed it. Love it. Demons are easy to paint, and I love it.
All right, we'll see. So Lord of Change attempted to cast his War Roll spell, and because of the Host Arcanum ability to auto-unbind a spell, it got shut down. So Zinch's Firestorm, not cast. You're not allowed that. So he's only going to be able to do that in turns 1, 3, and 5. But that's going to save him some mortal wounds coming in.
Yes, that would have been 6 automatic mortal wounds, which would not have been fun for Archeon.
No, that's not the Lord of Change's spell.
I thought that was Lord Change.
No, it's different.
It bracketed as he got more wounded.
Isn't it Zinch's Firestorm? That's what.
Because I thought as he gets wounded, his spell does less mortal wounds.
No, it's in Infernal Gateway. So you roll 9 dice, and then for every 3+ it will cause a mortal wound. It's Gateway.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Basically, mortal wounds, as Zinch loves mortal wounds.
Oh, he did try to cast Fold Reality. On which unit? Oh, on that unit. Amazing. So he tried to cast Fold Reality and did not get Fold Reality off.
That would have been awful if that had gone off, though, wouldn't it? It would have been funny if he got it off and rolled a 1, though. I would have liked to see that.
And then Archeon unbound the Pink's War Scroll spell.
This magic phase is not going well.
It's not going very well at all. But both players kind of disappointed in that because they both get fate points.
They're both going, come on. Give me free stuff.
And there's no way to shut that down, really, unless he just pins him in so that he can't summon from anywhere. I'm fascinated to see how this bunker does and see it move. The Fate Master is... Where is the Fate Master?
Yeah, back left.
Oh, wow, he's quite far away. So the Fate Master over here, because he's really important for the rerolls to throw everything into Archeon. And then the plus to wound. So wholly within 9 inches of the big bird for the artifact that's giving them +1 to wound. Of course. So the CP has been spent now, and this is one of the hard things for the Tzeentch army to actually do, Adam, is because you're very CP heavy. You're always spending a CP on that Fate Master to get those rerolls to hit. So those rerolls.
But that's like the only CP that he's actually going to be using, isn't it? Like he's not going to be using any other command abilities really. So
well, you're oftentimes keeping a CP around to keep those pink so pink horrors are so good because they can tank all that damage and then you inspire and presence them. So you need that CP. You just got to be
you can always just use the one from a Destiny dice to make them immune to it, can't you? Because if they've got the banner left in the pink horror unit, you can just use that one, and it doesn't count as modified, does it? So even if you don't have a banner, you use that one, and they can stick around forever, which is the worst thing in the world.
That does work. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. Oh yeah, fine, whatever. Okay.
Just Tzeentch dice, worst things ever.
Yeah, they're pretty rubbish. Antu still sat on, for Tzeentch dice, still sat on 2 6s, 2 5s, a 4, a 3, and a 1, so still got loads of options there. Antu has done really well in loads of TTS events. Very considered player, very thoughtful. So, he's going to be, very serious in making sure that he doesn't make any mistakes here. And that's what we're looking for. We're still in the movement phase. And he's going to move those pink horrors over. He's also going to move over the Fate Master, and he's going to get those rerolls. You're also going to get +1 to hit because of the Exalted Flamers. So you're basically going to have 3s and 2s rerolling to hit, rend 1 doing D3 damage.
Yeah, that is a lot of stuff coming out, isn't it?
38 shots from the Flamers, an additional 12 shots from the Exalted. Just don't see how they live.
So are you calling Archeon dead? 100%.
It's 50 shots. 50 shots, 3s and 2s. Rend 1 D3 damage. That's the
he's also got the pink horrors there as well. They can do some chip damage as well, right? Because they're going to be 30 shots with...
Rend.
They're going to get +1 to hit?
No, they didn't get the spell off. So they're not +1 to hit. So they're 5s re-rolling because of the Fate Master. 3s to wound because of the artifact from the Lord Change.
So that is a lot of output. If you concentrate their output, that is going to be a lot of damage, isn't it?
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Everyone seems to be very confident. Chris Jr. seems confident. Pete thinks he's going to survive. If he wins the priority, obviously don't forget there'll be two of this turn where he's doing this. I'd be interested to see if he survives, if he gets the priority. If he doesn't just run away, he'd probably push onto that objective. In fact, Antu maybe should have kept. I'm looking at those brimstones, and he's sort of not left any of the back ones on that home objective, have they? But I assume they had because they had to be 9 away. Because they teleported.
And Archeon is clipping that red circle, which means you can't teleport onto that objective.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think it would have been maybe more sensible just to move the units out. He could have still grabbed that top objective at the same time.
Yeah, potentially. I think teleporting was probably the right call, just so he can bunker up as much as he has done. And I assume he's just playing that Archeon is going to die. I don't think he's worried that Archeon's going to survive. I think that's the thing. He's not really bothered about holding that because he's like, well, Archeon's dead this time.
It's true. I'm going to do a poll in the Twitch chat for you guys. That's what I'm going to do. Another poll. I'm going to do a poll in the chat so you guys can tell me what you think is going to happen. That's what I want to see. The big bird is moving. The big bird is moving. Right on that board edge, hugging it. Antu is going to be furious when the boards are smaller. He is going to be livid.
He's going to love it. It means his flamers are going to be in range more often.
Yeah, it's gonna be super.
I'm curious how what's happening in the rest of the tournament. It's a shame we don't have Owen Jackson to run around all the tables, right?
It is a shame. It is a shame. But like that's fine. We'll get that for next time. We'll get that for next time.
I mean, although then we wouldn't have the Archeon off, the Corn Archeon off, and that is what we all really want to know.
Yeah. So Owen Jackson currently playing a Corn Archeon versus Corn Archeon, and I'm fascinated to know how that matchup goes.
Who do you think is going to win, Corn Archeon or Corn Archeon?
Hello. Wow.
No!
Okay,
yes!
so let Twitch chat you can vote. So Twitch chat you can vote on who you think it happened. Let me tell you what just occurred, because there's some janky math in it, but it's probably one of the most epic moments ever.
Best thing in the world.
Owen is playing Morton. This is on a different table. This is a Corn Archeon versus Corn Archeon list. Morton has charged in, and he has put Owen's Archeon in the sword. However, Archeon's got a command ability, which is when he dies, he can fight. And he did. And Adam, what happened when he did?
He put the other Archeon in the sword. Yes! He did it! It's literally all I wanted. I saw that game and I was like, both Archeons in the sword. Done it.
Somehow, some Archeon inception. They murdered each
hit
other.
Swords together and just got into each other.
Oh my god, it caught, and there would just be like a Blood Reaver sat by going, what is happening? This is
bad
mad.
Is that game going to be now, though? They're both now just playing 1,200 points at each other. Just look at each other like, wait, what do we do now? This is a whole game plan.
Narratively, how does that work? Great question. And as a narrative channel, I'd like to answer that question. I would say that neither of them were the true Archeon, and more aspects of Archeon that got destroyed by them own selves or something.
Well, we know that this Archeon on this table is the true Archeon, because Owen Jackson is also in this Archeon sword.
Have you never, like, imagine the sword is in the sword. No one ever thought sword was in the sword. You can put a sword in the sword. We're into look
deep for me.
You are. Thank you, by the way. Was it Sven who just came in and gave us the update?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you to Sven. Thank you very much. So we are currently. This is round 5 of the Battle of Copenhagen, a real life event that's going to happen in Denmark next year. So these guys seem like super fun guys, and you should take the opportunity to get to know them. We've had on the show on Friday, and then you can catch up with them again in the future. And Denmark's not too far from here, and the Honest War Game is definitely taking a trip over there at some point, which is going to be super fun.
Going to be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
God, I love it.
Pretenders do always fail. Okay, here we go. I put a poll in the chat. I have put a poll in the chat, ladies and gentlemen. You can vote. You can vote right now. We're starting with the Brimstones to keep the anticipation. A lot of votes in a minute for this poll. Oof. Tell you what, Adam, it's moving around. There's a lot of channel points being spent right now on this vote.
It's not me at all. I'm not spending my channel points for the
You guys vote, let me know.
I've just spent a couple of thousand channel points to say no, and I'm still not winning. Excellent.
Right, so we're starting with the Brims for some. So far, no wounds so far. Are we going in for the Exalteds? Oh, it's so close. Okay, a lot of people in the chat, both P and Chris Jr., two people who I've got loads of love and respect for. They've told me they think it's not happening. I think it's happening. So we've got 12 shots from the Exalted Famers. These are going to be 3s and 2s. This is what we're going to be seeing here.
Archeon is going to live. He's going to be fine. I reckon he's going to be fine. 1 or 2 wounds left. And then next turn, he's going to heal up those D3 from his head. And then he's going to charge in, take that objective, and be like, yeah, I've got this, lads. This is fine.
So 3 hits and miss so far. Wound on 2s. 7 wounds at -1. This is probably
2, isn't it, from the Exalted?
Oh, -2 from the Exalted, of course. So he's got a There we go. Saved them all. It's got a 4
See,
rerollable
he's going to be
save.
fine.
So has he got a 2-up save right now or a 3-up save? Yeah, okay. Well, then I don't think the 4s would have... Okay, it doesn't matter. Right, so these are the exalted... So these are the regular flamers. Regular flamers. So you reroll the 6s, and he's going to reroll the 1s. So they're 3s, and he has to reroll the 6s because it's Archeon. So now, after all the rerolls, those are all the 3s. So he's gone and got 32 hits. This is both units of flamers. And then, there we go, wounding on 2s. He's got 28 saves to make at -1. So a 4-up save. So he saved half. He's not going to die. This is
He's going to live.
Oh my god.
He's
So
fine.
he's going to take 5d3 damage. 5d3 damage is what he's taking. And he's choosing. That is amazing. He should absolutely choose that. Because he can do 12 damage if he chose it. He's not doing it. Oh, he rolled it anyway! Oh, he's rolled so well.
Yeah, he's rolled real well on that.
12 damage on Archeon. 12. I'm amazed.
I would be very happy with that. Very happy with that.
Plot armor exists even on the table. That's a good point. Wow. So 12 wounds only. That is phenomenal. That would have... Poor Alariel, she'd have been so smoked. Like by half.
If one flamer walked up to Alariel, she would have been smoked. So, you know.
That's true. That's
also, poor Alariel, she's thinking she's getting a Broken Realms book, and then they go, yeah, we're going to do Bellicor first.
Dwarf Egwin, you did tell me. You all did tell me. We've also got some pink horror shots going in as well. Let me see what the poll says. I'm going to end the poll right now. Let's get a vote breakdown right here. So it has 51% to 49% was no, he will not die. 51% were correct.
Fear Sean used 12,800 channel points on that. So I'm claiming that's going to be a little bit rigged.
Fear Sean did. Use 12,000 channel points to rig it. Grimgar also used 24,000 channel points. Thanks, Grimgar. Appreciate you. Chris Jr. also with 400 straight in on the no. Oh, okay.
These polls are very effective. I'm so proud. Well done, guys.
And look at the board though. So let's go back to the board and look at the board top down. This is what Archeon... Oh, wow. And the pinks have just turned 2 more wounds, so he has taken 15 wounds. So he's definitely dying very soon.
Yeah, if Antu gets the double turn, Archeon is going to die. 100% dead next turn.
Yeah. And I mean, then that's all the output. It feels like a wasted opportunity, if that makes sense.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair. I think.
No. What I mean is I don't know why he did it. The only thing I can see here, big play. So Antu scored 5 points. Here we go on the priority roll.
A big priority roll. Really big priority roll.
That's not helpful. Which one? We're just finding it. Right. Okay. Okay.
I'm so confused. Okay, so Stephen has won.
Archeon has won the priority roll.
He needed that priority roll.
He needed it. Do you want to hear a big play, Adam? Do you want to hear a big play?
I always want to hear big plays.
Let's do a spell portal. Let's do a devolve. Let's pull that unit of Brimstone Horrors away. And let's fly Archeon over and let's beat up all those flamers.
Oh! If he can kill those flamers, I don't think Archeon's going to die. I think Archeon survives now. If he kills those flamers this turn, Archeon's living for the rest of the game. Easy!
He's got 5 wounds left, mate. He's not got reroll saves either. Like, he's got nothing left.
He's got this. I believe in him. I'm all in on Archeon today, and I don't know why. I'm just loving it.
Well, because of what about because of the double Archeon in the sword?
Literally, I'm loving today. I think there's so many Archeons at this event, and all the Archeon mirrors that have happened over this weekend, and all the stories of Archeons going in swords. Just loving it.
Just
I'm
having a great
absolutely loving
time.
it.
Here we go. Look
I'm
at
going
that
to buy an
measuring.
Archeon tomorrow.
Go on, measure for that devolve. Like, you're right. He might not be able to. Archie's going to whiff, says Lord Trey.
No.
See, the thing is, it doesn't matter if he whiffs or doesn't whiff. There's only two. Both armies have only got output in two places: the Flamers on one side and Archeon in the other. So, like, he has to get rid of them, I think, is the key part. If not, like, it looks like it could be very dangerous. I don't know.
Do you think it's whoever takes out the main threat first is going to take the game?
Yeah, which is why I don't understand why Stephen didn't try and drag out the Flamers, if that makes sense. If you put some units on the objectives to make the Flamers go and get those units, right,
Yeah.
and bring them out of that castle that Antu likes to pick. Because you've given Antu like the option to kind of like drop back a little bit and deal. That one of the interesting things, if we compare it to the last game, Matt, when he was played, Matt Goddesborough with his Luminous Throne Lords, he was like trapped in a corner. He had nowhere to go. He couldn't rotate around anywhere, and he had to go forward. So Archeon's healed one wound. That's all he's done.
He's back up to 6. That's basically full health.
6. Yeah. Chris Tune is in the chat has said, if the reason that you're rooting for Archeon is because the other option is to root for Flamers. Like,
Yeah, no, that's fair. Yeah, no, I feel that.
the problem is,
Yeah,
if you do get rid of Flamers out of the Tzeentch book, it's got some real problems because they do a good job inside of that book.
Yeah.
I think it's just obnoxious that okay, here's the spell portal. Here's the spell portal.
I think he's going to do the spell portal to buff up Archeon more.
Yes, could do for the reroll saves. I don't know though. Like, what's the point in him like killing some brimstones and grabbing 4 points?
Because brimstones suck and they all need to die. There you go. That's it. I don't know, but that's not the point, okay?
I'm just asking. Just asking. I do wonder.
I don't know. This is fun. I'm liking this game. I just want Archeon to kill everything.
Just all the time.
Like literally, I'm just so into Archeon. I'm gonna buy him tomorrow. There you go.
Well, I told you.
There we go.
3 and a 4 from the Destiny dice to devolve the brimstones. Oh, I am hyped.
Right.
7 inches. 7 inches forward. That's wicked. That gives him some room. I don't know if he's going to be able to fly over that screen, if that makes sense, that's in front of him. So he might not be able to clear it. I hope he's measured it beforehand. I assume he would have measured it, like to see if.
I think he's definitely going to get over that screen, isn't he? So with only an 8-inch move, it's going to be a struggle. But potentially, you use your what Destiny dice have we got left?
None for the Host Arcanum, and loads for Flamers. Right, let me JP in the chat. Big love to JP. Hope you're well. I'll catch everyone up with what's been happening at this TTS event here. So that both of the two players who we see in play, Stephen follows with the Tzeentch Archeon Host Arcanum against Antu with the Tzeentch Eternal Conflagration Change Host, are the only two people at the event who are 4-0. That's the only people who are 4-0. So one of these two people is going to win the event. We had some notable wins and some notable submarines with our man Owen Jackson 4-1 in. Not 4-1 in, doing a double Archeon Khorne and both Archeons going in the sword. So that's super fun. We do have a Nurgle list, a couple of Nurgle lists that are 3-1 that are Blight King heavy. And our KO forces look like they're in the kind of 3-1 bracket.
That's pretty standard for KO. It seems about right for KO, isn't it?
Yeah, very.
They always seem to drop at least one game in a tournament.
Yeah, we are in turn 2 of this match. So turn 1, let's just take you very quickly through what happened. Turn 1 was given away by the Change Host and was given away to the Host Arcanum. And then we saw a pre-game move and we saw a devolve, bring a unit of 10 Pink Horrors that were on the objective. They ran an 11 up the board. Archeon then did a 9-inch charge, completing in his agenda, and then wiped out 31 of them. They then got a CP used on them, so they're immune to battle shock. They got, in the following turn, teleported out, and they're this unit that we're about to see get moved again from another devolve through this spell portal. Again, quick update on the Goat Watch. He's fine. He's doing really well. he's changed the shape of this game. And then we saw all of the Flamers with rerolls to hit and +1 to wound in a bubble fire into Archeon in a turn. And the Twitch chat said he wouldn't die. I said he would. Twitch chat were right. 15 wounds done to him. He's healed a wound, so he's up on 14. Priority roll into turn 2 went to Tzeentch. Tzeentch have now got this... went to Tzeentch. That's unhelpful. I'm so sorry. Went to Hos Arcanum Tzeentch with the Archeon. He healed a wound. He's now done a devolve. That's where we're at. Both players have got 6 fate points on the board. And then that's the rest of the army. That's everything. The Flamers are untouched. The 2 units are 6. The 2 Exalted Flamers are untouched. This unit of 10 Pink Horrors are untouched. And then there is just 2 units of 3 Screamers, 10 Pink Horrors, Kairos, and a Chaos Sorcerer Lord at the back of the board. So yeah, it's all about Kairos now. Sorry, not Kairos. Archeon trying to get into these Flamers. We've got to wait to see if he does it, is what we've got to do.
What do you reckon? Do you reckon he can get over the top? Or do you reckon he's going to have to move and charge over?
I don't imagine he's done that. He's made that decision before he's measured it, right?
Yeah, he's obviously got a plan, hasn't he?
Well, I suppose actually, what's Archeon, who's in the chat, will know. So he's got to get within 3 inches, and then he could just get within 3 inches and charge over the top. And it's 2 25mm bases, so about 1.5 inches. So he's going to have to clear that. So I don't know what he needs. He has an 8-inch move, thank you. So he's not clearing the top. So he's just looking for a long bomb charge. No Destiny dice. Yeah, I know. I was about to guess it, but that's fine. But that's right. He can do it. How could he do it, Twitch chat? Adam, let me go zoom in on how he can do it.
Oh, here we go. How is he going to do this? I wonder.
This 2-headed jerk. That's how he's going to do it. He's going to look into the sands of time. Yeah? So he needs a big charge, but he can guarantee one of those dice is going to be a 6. Because of big boy Kairos. Going to choose a dice result. That's right. Horrific. And he's only... Oh, God. I can't wait to see it. Do you think he's going to do it? If he rolls a double 1, he'll be gutted.
Yeah, he's going to be... he's not going to be happy if he rolls a double 1. But if he gets 1 6, you change the other one, 12-inch charge.
Into the Flamers. This is some
and
big...
that is going to be big if that happens. That is going to be amazing.
It's going to be so good.
So you can't use Kairos' ability after a reroll, but you can use Kairos' ability and then reroll. But obviously you wouldn't do that for a charge. So
unless you wouldn't. You would just reroll. Like if he rolls a double 1, he's just going to reroll it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. This is awesome. This is so exciting, so fun because you constantly forget, right? You're like, oh, you've used all your choose dice. You're like, oh no,
yeah.
I can choose one more dice.
Got one here.
Oh dear. Okay, all right. I'm looking forward to this now because if he gets into the Flamers, yeah, I'm excited because he's only really got to kill the Flamers to just to dominate the board. I would say.
But then can he? I think the issue he's going to have is he only going to kill 1 unit of Flamers, and then he's still got 6 Flamers and 2 Exalted left.
Yeah. Yeah. He can use his command ability on his own War Scroll, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's just going to go in. Oh, no, because he's going to die from shooting. That's a shame.
Yeah.
He's going to die from shooting. He's not going to die from combat. Okay. Yeah, maybe he only kills 6 Flamers, but he needs to at this point, right?
Yeah, he's got to deal with them. If he doesn't deal with them, he dies anyway. So you've got to go all in on this. But I think the issue Steve's going to have here is actually ignoring all of that. How is he going to score the rest of the objectives? So you've obviously got in the middle, there's nothing on the left one. So he's going to have to throw some Screamers out to that one to score that. And then on the right, there's 10 Brimstones sat on that one. So he's going to have to use his other Screamers that he's using to screen out to score that one. Yeah. So it's sort of like he's trying to screen Kairos, but he's going to have to sacrifice that screen to take the objectives. So then the Flamers could actually potentially just stop focusing on Archeon and go for Kairos. They could... Do you know what I mean? There's a lot of plays that Steve's got to be aware of here.
Yeah, there's loads. There's loads here. I think also, I don't know why he didn't go and put, like, looking back now and looking at the pressure he was able to put on with Archeon, why he didn't. So we've just seen Infusion Arcanum cast. Is that what we saw?
Yeah, +1 hit and wound has gone on to Archeon.
Yeah, +1 to hit and wound on Archeon. So he's not going to get oracular visions. He's not going to get rerolls to hit and wound. And he is also, if he is hitting into those flamers, they are going to be -1 to hit. So they're going to cancel each other out. Don't forget he got his agenda off earlier, so he does have +1 attack on all of his like melee weapon profiles. So that's going to be useful. And that will make him like a lot stronger. But like he doesn't have to do a lot of damage. Like in order to like completely, you've got to do 24 damage to neuter a lot of the output that could come in from this army. That's what he's got to do.
Yeah, like for Archeon, that is not a lot. Especially those flamers they're on a 5+ save. A lot of Archeon's weapons are -1, -2 rend. So those flamers will just disintegrate to them. And has Archeon got any 2-3 inch range weapons? Do you know?
He's got some 3-inch range weapons.
Because he could put those onto the yellow flamers that he might not be able to get put like proper range of, and then all of the rest attacks on the blue flamers. So he could, I suppose, with those 3-inch weapons, he could still kill those yellow flamers.
Yeah. So I've just tried to. So the Archeon's taken 5 wounds. No, sorry, it's taken 14 wounds. So he's got 6 wounds left. Is the current bracket he's on. His heads and tails are 3-inch range, Adam. So he could reach over really aggressively and get into those flamers. He's got to do. I appreciate that. So yeah, he's going to have to do 24 damage to get rid of those flamer threats. But let's talk about something that we've already experienced when we've played with Antu. Antu. So there you go. There's the weapons for you guys. 3 heads, 3-inch range, and he's bracketed now to 13 to 15. So he's only got 3 head attacks, 3s and 3s round 1, 2 damage. He's going to want to roll big on the lashing tails, I think.
Yeah, but those heads, that's enough to kill 3 flamers, which is still a lot of output. That will half the output from those.
Yeah, it's super important to get rid of that output where he can. The other thing to talk about though, Adam, because we've seen this happen already. We've seen this happen already in this, not in this matchup, but from Antu. If we don't kill all the flamers, Antu loves a cheeky fold reality on some flamers. So he's going to want all those flamers dead. Otherwise, we're going to see that's what we saw change the game last time, right?
Yeah, it was massive in that KO game yesterday, wasn't it? Because the KO played, I think he left 1 flamer alive, and then the guy brought back every single one to kill an ironclad.
Can we just talk about the fact that Zaidi Guy has just been an interviewer, as in interviewed someone, and sped through the interview and hired the guy so he could get back to the stream? You're a good guy, Zaidi Guy.
You're a hero.
Yeah, you're a good guy. So in order to get the charge, so just so you know, in order for Archeon to fit in, he needs an 11-inch charge. He needs an 11. So what we're looking for is either a 5 or a 6 in the 2 dice, and then he's going to use Kairos to choose the next dice roll.
Or
that's what
just
we're
roll
going to
a natural 11.
Huh?
There you go. Just roll a natural 11. Then you don't even have to use Kairos' ability. Sorted.
Yeah. Okay, so we've just seen this unit of Screamers spent a CP to run 6. I think is what I just heard from the table boss, and get on this objective.
They've got the +1 save there.
Yeah, they have.
Oh, what does Infusion Arcanum do? Do you know?
Yeah, +1 save, +1 to hit, and +1 rend. So it's the command ability that you get for it's the command ability you get for playing as Host Arcanum. That's what we're seeing.
Okay, that's quite cool.
Yeah.
Do we know what agenda he's picked this turn? Because if he's picked the taken objective of a unit of 10, those 6 screamers could be counting as 2 at the end of this turn if he's chosen that agenda.
Mm-hmm. Oh, look at Kairos. Look, Kairos being aggressive now, going out there.
So he's not done the agenda that I thought. He went for the cast spell agenda.
Yeah,
So
that's what he did.
those screamers aren't going to be getting 2 models to counting as 2.
Can you not roll? So, yeah. So a lot of you talking about the fact that it's... oh, here we go. Oh, no, he's still moving some things. I thought we were about to see. Don't forget, Archeon needs an 11, so he needs a 5 or a 6, because Kairos is going to change the dice roll. Yeah, I'm getting hyped up. It's pretty exciting.
I'm ready for this.
Let's just talk about some stuff. Infusion Arcanum, not Infusion Arcanum, the command ability here on these Sky Sharks, that's going to give them +1 to hit. That's going to be really useful. They need to try and clear out these Brimstone Horrors and take the objective. Yeah, super important. Currently, Host Arcanum are down on points. They are 5-3. And I really think he should have moved these Screamers the turn before. He would have had an additional 2 points. But, you know, he didn't, so there we go. And he's decided to move Kairos up fast. But don't worry, Goat Watch. Goat is still alive. That's the most important.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I think moving Kairos up is a really good play here, because it gives him more options to unbind in his next turn. And it probably zones out those Flamers a bit more, if that makes sense. Because those Flamers have to deal with Archeon right now. So he knows that Kairos probably is safe this turn.
So there's a question in the chat. Oh yeah, Goat Watch has moved. The Goat has moved. The 2 Archeons on small bases. Don't forget, Stephen has won 4 games to get to this final to potentially win the tournament. And those 2 Archeons you can see on the base are 2 Archeons that Archeon has indeed put in the sword over the course of those 4 battles. So that's why there are 2 mini Archeons on Archeon's base. Elias over on YouTube has said that he doesn't want to watch a mirror match. I would encourage you to stick with it. Having done years of coverage at this point all around the world, mirror matches to me are some of the most interesting. Because even though, yes, these are the 2 similar forces, they're made up of different hosts and they play in different ways. And it's all, and actually sometimes those 2 different... I find mirror matches fascinating, both in 40k
These
and
2
Age of
armies
Sigmar.
are completely different as well. Even though they're both siege, they are completely different builds. So you've got, obviously, an Archeon build and a Chain Host build, which are completely different to one another.
Yeah, this isn't really a mirror. I agree. I don't think it really is a mirror. But
it's not a mirror at all.
But even when you do end up in mirrors, I actually find them fascinating. I think that there's a lot of player skill. There's a lot of movement involved. Like mirror matches are fascinating. I remember I've covered a couple of 40k mirror matches with Drukari. Phenomenally interesting games. Like, you could talk about them all day, I think. It's one of the really interesting things about mirror matches is you almost never see them in battle reports. You see them a lot at tournament coverage. Here we go. Archeon's charge. We're looking for a 5 or a 6. Here we go. Oh, it's not. It's not. So he's going to have to spend a CP to re-roll it.
Here we go. Come on, Archeon.
Oh, no. This is such a big moment. It's a 6.
He's got it.
Oh, no. So that 6, that means he uses Kairos' ability to change the other 4 into a 6. That's a 12-inch charge. Archeon is into the Flamers. What a combination of moves to create that effect. Spell Portal from downtown, using Destiny Dice again to bring Devolve to move that unit of Brimstone Horrors out the way, and then using Kairos' ability and a CP to reroll to get him in there. This is huge.
That was brilliant move. That was brilliant play.
Yeah, see the end pink. Some of you in the chat seem to think that this seems impossible to do. The players think it's fine to do. So a Reaper and a Rhea. Some abilities allow you either to pick, change, or replace dice roll of your choice. Does this happen before or after any rerolls or modifiers? Unless noted otherwise in the ability, it happens before any rerolls or modifiers are applied. Note this ability only allows you to replace a single dice roll. For 2d6 rolls, cast and roll, you can only replace one of the dice. In addition, any rolls that have been replaced count as unmodified rolls and cannot be re-rolled or further modified. So does this mean you can't do it or you can do it? I'm going to listen to Archeon the Three-Eyed King. You might want to hold off for a moment, Matt. If the players are playing under the instance, as far as I was aware, that was fine. But if this was... But we'll see. We'll see.
Who knows? Zinch is complicated. Every time I see Zinch, I'm like, oh no, there's going to be loads of rules. I don't know what's going on.
We'll wait. No rules against that. It is as planned. So hold on. So as much as I appreciate you, Twitch chat, I'm going to let the players play it out. I was pretty certain that was fine, as I understood it, even with the specifications as you described. But if the players want to talk to the TO about it, they can.
They're also both Tzeentch players that have been playing Tzeentch for a long time. So if they had an issue with it, both players would know about it. So Antu's been playing Tzeentch for ages, and so has Steve. So they probably know about this. So they're probably right.
Yeah, and I was also under the assumption that it was fine to do also. And even as I read it there. But we'll see. That's what we need. We need video assisted replay, please. That's what we need.
a quick clarification: Kairos' ability isn't like Destiny Dice at all, because Kairos' ability happens after dice rolls. So with Destiny Dice, you choose before. Kairos' ability you can choose after, and that is stated in his ability.
Yes,
because it's a change, not a choose.
Yeah, it's a change, not a choose. So it isn't like a Destiny Dice. It's different to a Destiny Dice, which is the important point. But anyway, the players, who are both Tzeentch players, by the way, have said that they think it's fine. So we're all good, if you guys are all good with it. So there we go. And both players, as stated, have been playing Tzeentch for a while. Archeon is swinging first. He's swinging into the 2 units of Flamers. 2 units of Flamers. So he's using a command ability for all-out attack for reroll ones to hit, and he's also using reroll all-out defense, which is reroll saves.
That seems good. What do you think Archeon's going to do then? Do you think he's going to kill all the Flamers or just most of the Flamers? Yeah, I reckon he's going to kill at least 6. He's definitely going to wipe out that blue unit, but I don't know how much he's going to be able to get into that yellow unit.
Yeah, absolutely. So here we go. We're going to see all this output here. Adam, do you think that they're all going to die?
I think all the blues are definitely dead. It's how much he can reach over into the yellow block. So yeah, Slayer Kings and the sword. Slayer Kings and something else. I can't remember what you said. Are going into the blues. The claws are going into the blues, and then everything else is going into the yellows. So we can get quite a lot into that yellow unit. So potentially we could see all 12 Flamers die here, because like we were saying earlier, those Flamers have only a 5+ save. So even with -1 rend, you're going to get a 6s, and Slayer of the Kings is a rend 2, so there's going to be no save against that.
Yeah. It's very, very cool. I'm excited to see him take out most of them, but I'm also excited to see him leave one alive and also have the Lord of Change do fold reality and then bring the whole unit of 6 back. That's what I see. Or a classic dice roll of a 1, the whole unit pops.
That'll be the best. I'd like to see that more. I'd like to see 3 Flamers yet, or 2 Flamers left. Uses fold reality, rolls a 1, and we just go, oh, poor you. I think that's the main thing I want to see, to be honest. I'm just curious how much Slayer Kings is going to do. Because he's got 4 attacks. They're hitting on 2s. He's got +1 to wound. So he's wounding on 2s. Rend 2, 3 damage. Oh.
Wow, even at -1, the first unit of 6 are just out of there. They are out.
They are not coming back with fold reality either. And now we need to see how much he can do into this yellow unit. So he's got quite a lot of attacks left on them. So he's still got the lashing tails and the 3 heads all going into that yellow unit. So he's going to get in 2d6 attacks.
Oh, it's onto the blue brimstone horrors. That's what we're actually seeing.
He's
behind
not hitting
him.
those other Flamers.
Wow.
He might not be in range, to be fair. Yeah, so he's not in range of that.
Yeah, at all. So Archeon's still gonna die next turn. He's he's only got 4 wounds left. He's still out of here, and he hasn't lost lots in this trade. So the change host list hasn't lost loads. I wonder if he's kept the Flamers in, got them within 3, because that would have been nice, so that they can't. There we go.
He's just out because the attacks that he wanted to get in there are 3-inch range. So I think if he was within 3, I think those Flamers would be getting punched in the face.
Yeah, absolutely. They would be. But we're seeing this now.
So those poor Brims are all dead. They've looked at Archeon and then gone, oh no.
So that scores him his auxiliary, which he's looking to achieve. So that's that gone. Okay, it doesn't. Yeah, Table Boss just getting caught up. No dramas there, Table Boss. You're doing a great job. 5 games of Table Bossing and you've smashed it. I appreciate you, and I want to thank both Matt and the Twitch chat for joining us for these exhilarating games. Super fun. Super fun. And it's be a good conversation. On Monday, it's Age of Sigmar show. I promise I'll bring up the conversation about how Kairos' dice works. And then you guys can go through it with me. We'll go through it in detail. We'll go through it in detail on Monday's show, and if it is contentious as a result, but I'm pretty certain I was on the money with it. So we'll see whether or not that changes. So we'll see.
I genuinely have no idea. I'm going to be honest.
So I would say that I'm pretty up on most of the, like, sometimes like I can forget like a minutia, but sometimes when it's a really janky thing, I'm pretty up on it. And even though very few people did reviews of the FAQ, I did. Yeah, and
what
I'm
FAQ?
pretty certain I went through it at that point, and it was fine.
That was an FAQ? Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's literally only a singular person who I trust beyond me to actually know something, so I always ask them first. So I've dropped them a message. I've dropped them a message. I'm like, what do you think? But like, that's fine. I'm excited.
At least they're both happy. There you go.
Yeah. Like, so Mandel is in the chat. Players get rules wrong. Sadly, it's commentator expectation shouldn't interfere when you see a wrong play. It's up to players. So normally we do. So what we do sometimes do is we do judge. So our table bosses often will judge a match sometimes. So like when we're at an event, and let's say, and I've had all sorts of people table boss. Nathan Prescott, obviously wonderful player. Darren Watson, wonderful player. Owen Jackson, wonderful player. Loads of really solid, like top end players. Be judges. So if they've seen something that's out of whack or out of order, they've stopped play and they've gone and got a TO. So they've more refed than judged, let's say. And that's something sometimes we have to do when we do the live coverage. And a lot of that time is to protect players. To make sure, I oftentimes think players very rarely are attempting to do something unfair. What they're normally doing is making a mistake.
You never want to win with a rule that you've slightly gotten wrong, do you?
Yeah.
You never want that to happen. If I was playing, I'd much rather someone said to me, that's not how I think the rule works. Please just stop for 2 minutes while we go and get TO. It's a quick fix, and it works every time, right?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. We're going to Goat Watch now. Here we go, Goat Watch. Goat Watch is fine. He's undisturbed, the Goat, by any fury or rage around it.
He is loving his life today. He's just walking around. He's not even after doing anything. He literally sits there while Kairos casts his spell for him.
So can we talk about the fact that none of this would have been possible to have been achieved? None of this had it not been for the double devolve. And again, allying in that great Bray Shaman into the Tzeentch Force for that devolve spell has produced its effect. A really fun little double up, if you really wanted to, throw devolve. I think, yeah, you can throw devolve into a Khorne army, yeah, and you've got 2 ways to drag an army, a unit forward from the Khorne book and then from devolve. Yeah, it's
just
super
bring a
weird.
Unit further than they can actually move. Let's go, lads. Come on.
Just keep dragging them forward.
I'm just waiting for like a unit of like Iron Breakers sat there with like a 4-inch move, and they get dragged like further than they've ever walked in their life.
Oh, what is happening? Why am I going all the way across the board? This is a disaster.
I didn't know we could walk this far.
So that would require you to use a Slaughter Priest, but also use magic in Khorne. So as a narrative channel, we can't in any way advertise or encourage you to do that.
Yes. Yeah, sorry.
So
it would look cool for the painting meta, though.
It would look great for the painting meta, of course. Of course. Oh, someone just brought up Bill Hicks, one of my favourite comedians. Absolutely 11 out of 10. Love Bill Hicks. Right. Oh, wow. And so the Screamers are activating in combat now. We're in the combat phase in this turn. We all got a little bit lost there. So let's stay up to date with what's happening in the match. It's 5-3 to the Change Host Tzeentch, who are at the bottom of the board. And they seem to be very, very pigeoned into the corner at the moment. Like, if you look at that, you'd be like, wow, the top army is dominant. But it's really only because of that bully Archeon piece, We've seen the combat on the left-hand side now, and we've seen most of those Brimstone Horrors killed by those Screamers. So, and then we've also seen a summoned unit of blue Horrors on that right-hand objective from Kairos. So looking to put bodies on the board there. So those Flamers at the bottom are going to have to try and deal with Archeon, do those last 4 wounds, and then start taking objectives. Would you be tempted, Adam, to rely on the pittance shooting that from the Pink Horrors? Oh, it's not pittance shooting, 30 shots. Would you rely on that and then teleport the Flamers out to start dealing with other units? Or would you... Because let me tell you, without rerolls and +1 to hit, they can be a bit whiffy, I'm going to be honest with you. 4s to hit, 3s to wound.
I think the amount of games I've seen from Antu and how he plays this army, those Flames aren't going out of that castle. They are staying next to that Lord of Change until they die. He doesn't tend to teleport those Flamers at all. He likes to keep that castle up. And I think it's the better decision, because even though you may be overcommitting, but it's better to overcommit than throw something out and potentially leave Archeon alive.
Agreed. Can we talk about the fact that these Brimstone Horrors here, they have got to re-roll. They've got to re-roll their 6s to hit against the Grand Marshal of the Everchosen. But let that not stop them. They've done a wound.
Amazing.
Done a wound to Archeon.
I just want to know that hero of a Brimstone that's actually done that wound. Like, do you reckon he's done it by accident? He's on a, whoa, what have I done?
Bob the Brimstone. He's livid. He's like, I can't believe
he doesn't even know what he's done.
Yeah, he's outraged. So only 3 wounds left on Archeon now. And Archeon, let me just double check to see if there's a CP. There is a CP in the tank for the Archeon player, if he wants to, Stephen, who's playing them. And we'll see what he decides to do here. Twitch chat, you enjoying the game? It's still taking a while. This is only turn 2. Top of 2. Lots has happened, though. Lots has happened.
It has been, to be fair, it has been quite an interesting game, and probably quite a quick game for Zinch. So this is probably the fastest either player's ever played. So, you know.
I'm amazed.
Yeah,
with only an hour and 20 minutes on the clock, it looks like we will get to what I think both these players think is the end of the game, which is turn 3.
I think so.
I'm probably going to send them both a message. The Pink Horrors have done a wound as well to Archeon. Archeon not being brought down by mighty heroes.
You can see why those buffs are so important to him, though. Because he's only got a few of his buffs that he normally has. And like last turn, he took all that shooting. And then this turn, he's dying from a Pink Horror and a Brimstone.
It's very likely that he's going to die next. I mean, he's going to die next turn. And I think that's one of the things that is very, very difficult, actually, as the Archeon player, and maybe one of the reasons we saw Steve go so YOLO so early, is because you need to get all those buffs up on Archeon to be able to teleport across the board.
Yeah, those buffs on Archeon are just so important. He's not got any rerolls to save. He's not got anything like that. So he's only got +1 to hit and wound. So he's dying this turn, which is a shame. But I think Steve's in a strong position, because he's screened out a lot of the board, so that change host teleport that Antu's got available to him isn't gonna be as effective as it probably could be.
Yeah, agreed. And one of the things to also talk about now is that we've had those 10 Brimstone Horrors summoned, right, on the board. We've had those 10 Brimstone Horrors summoned on the board for Stephen and his Zinch force. But we are going to be also looking at 10 fate points to be spent in a moment by Antu and his force as well. So we're going to
Antu can potentially get up more as well, can't he? Because it's his hero phase now. So he's going to be able to be casting magic now, and he's going to be upping that fate points even more.
Yeah.
So we could see more Flamers come on.
You could see more Flamers come on. I don't think you will, but you could. See more Flamers come on. I don't think you should do that, if I'm honest.
Probably not the best call, but, we all like a few Flamers.
So he could take the Fate Master, just whip him forward and get him to summon. Problem is I don't know where he's going to put them on the board yet. I think that's going to be the major problem. He still has to get rid of Archeon, and he probably could leave the Brimstones and the Pink Horror shooting to do it. He could even get rid of him in the Magic phase right now, when we're about to see Infernal Gateway cast from Pete Moo, the Usurper. the Lord of Change has been named. However, is he going to teleport the as an Exalted Flamer, a unit of Flamers? Okay, so we're just going to see what he teleports now. What would you teleport, Adam? Take me through it while I take a small break.
Yeah, so I think in this turn, you've got... It's a bit of a tricky one, because you want to stay in that castle with those all those buffs from the Flamers. So I don't know whether you teleport the Flamers, because those Flamers have got a 27-inch threat range. So I think he's just measuring to see what those Flamers can actually do without having to teleport. But he's also got to be aware that when he summons, he's got to sort of look at what and where he's going to be summoning to. So I think you probably just teleport, maybe just an Exalted Flamer, and then you can summon some other stuff in front of it, or you teleport the Pink Horrors, give them some extra stuff. So that the Pink Horrors are being teleported, was that? Yeah, so the Pink Horrors are being teleported, and it looks like he's trying to create some kind of screen in front of Kairos, so to block the movement there and consolidate his own back objective, because that objective to Antu is worth 4 points to him, to Steve. So Steve really wants to get that objective, and Antu is making sure that Steve's going to have a real tough job of getting that objective off of him. So yeah, those Pink Horrors straight in front of there. Not entirely sure what he's going to do with the Flamers yet, because that does mean that those... I'm not sure if those Pink Horrors are going to be able to shoot Archeon now. They might still be able to get in, but they might be lining up to shoot Kairos, because that is going to be 30 shots going into Kairos with Rend 1. And Kairos isn't the most tanky creature in the world.
He's not. 14 wounds on a 4-up save. A bin chicken destined for a good binning at any moment, which is why he's so fragile. What did we see teleported? What did he go for? The pink?
Yeah, the Pink Horrors going straight in front of Kairos there, which might be a sign that he's going to shoot the Flamers into Archeon, just absolutely deal with him, and then throw those Pink Horrors they're shooting into Kairos. Because like you were saying earlier, 30 shots. That's a lot.
It's a lot. And if he does manage to move around Archeon, so the Fate Master for his bubble is a 9-inch bubble. Did we see the command ability used on the Fate Master? We'll find out in a moment. But if he does, so then he can move the Fate Master around here, just behind the Pink Horrors, move the Flamers up on the other side of the Brims, and then he would be moving forward aggressively at the same time, dealing with all the threats at the same time. That fly keyword's so useful, and having that buff on such a mobile piece as the Fate Master is really, really important. You can basically just rotate your play style and kind of get out of dodge, which I think is really exciting.
Yeah, the change phase gives you a lot of abilities, doesn't it, to be able to sort of control the game.
Sorry, one more time, table boss, please.
So it Fold Reality.
Oh, so is that the Brimstone unit?
That was Pink's. So he's just
Pink's.
rolled for it, and it looks like he's got 4 Pink Horrors back, which are now being strung out onto that middle objective.
And have they outscored him?
It looks... Yeah, so he's not quite outscored him yet. So he's good, but I think he's just going to retreat those Brimstones away from Archeon, and then literally just shoot Archeon with the Flamers and kill him. So
yep, and then also
send the strong position.
Yeah, shoot the Pink Horrors into Kairos. He's in a really strong position. That also, by the way, I'd like to point out, is 20 wounds that he's just summoned back. That is
insane. That is mental, the amount of output, or the amount of wounds from that unit, just from literally 4 guys just coming back. A spell that gives you 20 wounds. Okay.
Yeah, and not forgetting he's sat on 11 fate points right now. So he's still sat on 11 fate points in addition to the fact that he's just put those on the board.
Do we know what agenda he's picked this turn?
So same agenda chosen this time to take out a big thing, mainly to kill Archeon. Gives the unit the banner back too. Of course, Chris. That's the most important bit.
Yeah, because then it means the battle shock, isn't it?
That's the first one you put back. That's why putting the Emerald Life Swarm in a Tzeentch list is always super fun as well. You just the last one to go is that banner. The first one to go back in is the banner. Super good. really useful. Yeah,
Yeah, that's
really,
crazy.
really good. Yeah,
I'm surprised he didn't choose the agenda to take an objective off a unit of 10. Because if he'd done that, because in that objective that you just put those pinks on, that blue horror unit is a unit of 10. So if he had chosen the agenda to take it off of a unit of 10, those new pink horrors that were brimstones would then be, at the end of the turn, be counting as 2 models each.
mm-hmm.
So I'm surprised he didn't go for that objective, to be honest, because the +1 save for killing Archeon, is it really worth it? Is it going to change the game that much on your Flamers?
I don't think so. I think really, like, the main play here is just to try and take down the major threats. And there isn't loads of threats, is there, really? I mean, even Kairos isn't really a threat. He's an old bird who's just like...
Yeah, he doesn't really do a lot of damage, does he?
He just knows some things. So that's how it's happening. Tycan asked in the chat, how can you bring back the pink horrors because they've been slain? Fold Reality allows you to return slain models to a unit, and the pink horrors are slain models from that original unit. Life Swarm does the same thing. Same thing. You could put a Life Swarm in there.
I'm surprised we don't see more Life Swarms in Siege lists. Because we saw it quite early on in the Siege books, didn't we? Like, there was that Australian event. Was it CanCon that he was doing that? And I'm surprised that didn't sort of catch on more.
So I think at that point, like, the pink horrors were slightly cheaper. Like, so there's something to be said there. Like, pink horrors in this situation seem to be more like a utility option, as opposed to, like, you're always going to put pink horrors in the list because of what you can do with them. You can do these janky plays, you can do these fun things. But at the same time, I don't think you can necessarily, like, load into the pink horrors because some of their, like, really abusive stuff, like using the 1 for Destiny dice to bring back D6 can't be used. So you can't, like, overly spec into it. Still, I think Life Swarm for 50 points is viable. But putting a change host together is expensive, and there are other spells that you do want to do. So yeah, like, you don't see it, like, people decide not to see it. But yeah, I think it's points is the major issue. Thank you, Reaper. Yeah,
it's quite. Change host is an interesting one, though, isn't it? Like, as much as it's quite oppressive, it is the build. So like, if you go into a change host, you are doing change host, and that is it. If that makes sense. So like, you sort of pick it up, and like, that battalion is your 2,000 point army, and you have to be really careful with how you construct it, I suppose, aren't you?
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Like, and then also, like, choosing, you're already spending a lot of points on endless spells anyway in this list. You're already spending it on Portal. Maybe you're spending it on Geminids as well. And if you spend it on Geminids, then, you know, you're already moving into the 150 point territory between those two. It was 130 between the two. So then to add 50 points on feels like it's a lot of points. If you're buying Change Host, you're spending 180 points on that battalion. So, you know, you're spending a lot of points, 300 points before you actually put any models on the board. So it's significant. So I think that's maybe why I see it get dropped. But there's still some fun stuff to do with it, and you can do some janky and fun things. What's the question? Oh, sorry. So sorry. My actual hand in the game was in the way. Whoops. So sorry.
Just leave it there. No, you can't do what you want to do. This is my game now.
Maybe I'd be the person slowing the game down the whole time. That's the answer.
Every time Zeech come on, you're the one who's actually slowing it. There we go. We've worked it out.
So, as you can see, he's moved up like I suggested he would, with the Fate Master creating a aura around him, as with the Lord of Change. So, projecting that aura around him. That's not going to affect the pink horrors, unfortunately, for the shooting, but I think he's still been able to move that castle around the major threat that is Archeon. Now, Archeon, unlikely to live, is what I'm going to say.
I don't see it this turn, unfortunately. He's got 2 wounds left. I even think the pink horrors could chip him off at this point. But I think he's probably just going to use the flamers in some. There you go. So we're going into shooting, and Exalted Flame. One of the Exalted Flamers is going to go into Archeon and potentially just kill him off now, which then frees up the other Flamers to shoot into something else. But I'm not sure if they're in range of any. What else they're in range of?
The regular flamers,
I don't know.
They're comfortably in range of the blue horrors if they want to be. Oh, he's gone.
No.
The Grand Marshal of the Everchosen. Was he killed by the 6 flamers?
He was killed from that Exalted Flamer.
He's killed from the Exalted Flamer. So yeah, the other unit of 6 flamers, they are very, very likely to take out those blue horrors on the top objective. They're going to do really good work. Look, he's put a mini Archeon on the base of the Lord of Change. In reference.
Amazing. Brilliant. Oh, he's not doing very well at trying to do this. He's trying to program it on, and it's all going wrong.
Yeah. Anyway. Yeah, so the Flamers are shooting into Kairos.
Wow.
Oh my goodness. Oh,
that is not good.
Lordy.
If he kills Kairos, that is going to be a big deal for Steve. That's going to be a lot of his army just gone.
I feel like we missed. Did we get Oracular Visions off on? No, because we can't, because it's Slave to Darkness model, isn't it?
Yeah, it's only slaves. Because he was using the other ability, the Shield of Fate.
Shield of Fate. Did you not get Shield? No, because he must not have got it off.
No, I think he used something else on someone else, didn't he? So, yeah. So he did Spell Portal and Devolve rather than Shield of Fate. Oh,
Look at
no.
him just vanished. Just absolutely vanished from the tabletop.
Wow.
That is rough.
The output that they can produce from those Flamers is incredible.
So on average, it's crazy numbers. It's hits on 3s, re-rolling, wounds on 2s, rend 1d3 damage. 10 shots out of 3, 19 shots. 19 shots, 2s. No, sorry, 3s re-rolling, 2s, rend 1d3 damage. Madness. Absolutely
crazy.
Madness.
But it doesn't matter because the goat is still alive.
Goat watch. Goat watch.
That's all that matters in this game. I really hope this goat now just turns around and just starts running away.
Okay,
just like, now I'm out, boys.
Yeah. Please, everyone, pray for Goat. He needs to live. That's all we need to remember. And look, we're still seeing the Pink Horrors doing some shooting as well into these blue horrors. They're going to be in a tough spot. They're also going to have to take a check. Looking very dominant now for Antu in the Change Host, right?
Yeah,
super dominant.
So. Like, when you lose Archeon in any Archeon build, it is a massive blow. It's nearly half your army that is just gone to that.
And arguably lots of the other points in there. Like, I mean, he's just also deleted Kairos as well. So we're talking 1,200 points gone in a turn.
Yeah.
Like, absolutely gone. Yeah, Goat Boys, time to step up. What can one goat do versus this many flamers? You would think the Bray Shaman, having himself more than likely sacrificed many a goat to the terrain piece, he's burned a few goats. He's probably like, do you know what? I know what fire does, and I'm out of here.
Oh yeah, I'm out, boys. I'm done.
I'm going.
I know what this fire can do, and I ain't staying for it.
Yeah, so I think that's unlikely. Don't forget, we're about to go into priority for turn 3. And it looks like we might get a turn 3 out of these gents, which is lovely.
It's crazy.
Crazy. Some pretty dominant work here. He's just got to grab. Now, there are some screamers on that top left, on the left-hand objective. And they're not bad, but they're not going to go through the 50 wounds that's in that Pink Horror squad, for example.
The thing is, I say Steve hasn't gotten any output now. There is no output left in that list. And especially to deal with 50 wounds of Pink Horrors. Like, he's just not got... Screamers aren't bad in combat, but they're not 50 wounds. Like, they don't have that output.
No. So, Lord of Change shooting the brims. But we got to congratulate Stephen on some, like, quality fun plays. A devolve to a Kairos roll charge over into the Flamers. That was really fun to see. I really enjoyed that. Also, big shout out to Antu, just playing calm and collected and steady, like just making sure he put up his screens where he could, moved across the board. He pivoted, like you said. You've seen Antu play a few times with this list, and he plays defensive blocks. He plays like this castle build, and its ability to project power is devastating, right? In a circle, it's devastating.
Yeah, it's completely devastating, mate. Absolutely horrific. Like, when you play that, like, tactically, and you rethink about what you're doing in that castle, like, it's really terrifying, the output that comes from it.
Yeah, really, really scary. Really scary. Don't forget that's with half of it dead. Right, so the brims are just being taken off because they're going to die from battle shock.
Yeah, so that was the summoned unit, wasn't it? So those
Big shout out to my man.
blues that were there.
Big shout out to my man Ziggy for resubscribing. 9 months, baby. 3 more to go. 9 months is enough for a baby, and I would have one with you. James, thank you very much. 6422, thank you for resubscribing. He said, I just went 0 and 5. Time to watch some actual Warhammer. James, you're a legend. Thank you to HypnoCracker for resubscribing as well. Thank you to anyone who's tuning in. You can subscribe on Twitch if you'd like with Amazon Prime sub. That gets us money and costs you nothing. Or you could subscribe to the show. That's cool. Or you could join us on Patreon. Any of those if you've enjoyed the weekend. Thank you.
Loved it. It's been great fun.
It has been a fun weekend. All of the matches have been good. All of the matches have been good. Like they've been if not anything else, they've allowed for some great stories. Like really interesting matches. So really fun. Adam, you've been great. All my co-commentators yesterday. Matt, the table boss. It's been great weekend of Warhammer. More to come. It's got me excited for events in the future. Getting out there in the real world. More events. Getting some information from those other matches that are happening around tournaments. Oh yeah, baby.
It's going to be great. I have to say, Steve's list is just... I love it. Like, I've watched it now play 2 games, and it is super interesting. Like, I always think Tzeentch is super boring, but Archeon in it just makes it... I don't know. It's just a little bit spicy. I like it. I think I'm going to buy an Archeon, man.
It's really good. I think if anything, Games Workshop should give us some money for the amount of Archeons I think we might have pitched out to the community at this point. But probably the most sold thing that we've got here is Goat Watch. It's all I want. Brave Shaman. Goat Watch. Let's go.
Let's goat.
Let's goat. That's going to be the start of every... Hello, welcome to the Small Gamer. This is a tournament round of some sort of description. Let's goat.
I have to say, I started painting my Brave Shaman the other day. So maybe we all need Brave Shamans in our lives. So everyone should go and buy a Brave Shaman, even if they don't use it. And then we can all...
Did we see a priority roll, table boss? Oh, this is charge phase. After the shooting phase, of course, is the charge phase. And what a long bomb charge we've seen that unit of pink horrors make across the board to start tagging that other objective on the left-hand side as well. I think in this situation, he wants to die. He's going to want to cause himself some problems and have some of those pink horrors die. And don't forget that banner is in there. He's going to want to keep that banner alive, use a 1, get D6 back, flood that objective with models. Rough time for all is what we're seeing here.
Yeah, it's not the one, is it? It's not what you want to see as Steve. So Steve is probably hoping to do as little as possible to that pink horror unit.
He wants to do as little damage as possible.
Use his destiny dice to change all his good dice into 1s.
Big shout out to my man Pask, the ogre aficionado. Love that fella. I joined a tourney day 2 as a replacement for someone else, and I turned that guy's 0-3 record to a 2-3 record. Yes, Pask, you've got this. That's brilliant. I mean, you were starting at the bottom.
Wow. Okay.
Oh wait. But in game 2, he beat 2 cows and Techless. I feel like was that Math Mallow he played?
No, that wasn't Matt. Yeah.
Oh, nice. That's the match we had on first. Okay. I played to the objective. Good man. I like hearing all these reports. There was also an event over in Australia. So the Vic GT happened this weekend as well. So the loads for the tournament show tomorrow. So the Age of Sigmar Stat Center. We have some Google spreadsheets to fill in tonight, boys, for 2 tournaments. And then fun times. And then we'll kick them out as stats one day, depending on if Ziggy loves me or not. But to be honest, if he doesn't, that's fair, because I am the unlovable rogue. Oh, Vic GT is this weekend. Is it? Is it next weekend? Oh, wait, isn't there a tournament this weekend? No, it's next weekend. All right, then I've got confused. There's only one spreadsheet to fill in. Victory for the boys.
Let's go. Yeah. It's all sorted now.
Thank you, Pask. Appreciate you. So that's next week. All right, sweet potatoes. To be honest, I'm just looking forward to the 45 minutes that's going to be on the Age of Sigmar Stat Center tomorrow, where Owen just tells us about his weekend of gaming. That's all I want to hear.
All I want to hear. I just want to hear about his Archeon stories, how he's crusaded through the mortal realms with Archeon just getting slayed by Slayer of Kings, because it's happened twice to him. I want to hear. I want to hear if there's any salt, and it's going to be the greatest thing in the world.
It's going to be great. Tomorrow's going to be a great show. So we've got 2 great shows tomorrow for Age of Sigmar coverage if you guys want to join us. And this weekend's been great. There we go. So Stephen, this is the end of the match, boys. Gentlemen, Stephen has just conceded. Congratulations to Antu for being the winner of this event again. Luckily I didn't change over there. Of this event. He has gone 5-0 with a change host Zinch. There is no stopping him. He is a furious competitor. And that I mean, it's been dominant now for a year. That book, almost no changes for a year. Some points updates. This is a list that still does work a year later. We've got to talk about loads of different things. We'll cut back to the game. Congratulations, both Steve and Antu. Excellent game. Really well played. Back to us. It's been super good. And also the GOAT survived. Adam, the GOAT survived.
Love the GOAT. He was the hero of the round. I think he's been Steve's MVP 100% all day, every day. He has done an absolutely incredible job. Just letting Kairos cast a spell for him, with him just chilling at the back, going, you know what, Kairos? You got this, mate. I believe in you.
Yeah, he did a phenomenal job. A phenomenal job in that game. Really impressed by the GOAT in Archeon and what he can do. It was so interesting to see that the difference between those 2 games, Adam. And having Stephen on for that kind of dual run. See how he just dominated that mid board against the Lumineth Realm Lords, and then against Zinch, how it just seemed to come undone because really there was the output available from those Flamers to take down Archeon. And we talked about this. It's actually a nice conclusion. If you guys have tuned in all weekend, it's a nice conclusion to the first game that we talked about, where we had the 45 Blight Kings. And the reason that it's a nice conversation is because during that first game, we really talked about DPS checks and the ability for you to just do enough damage to actually push major threats off the board. 20 Blight Kings, Archeon, and we saw that in Antu's list. And Antu himself went 5-0. So those DPS checks are very important, very relevant.
You need those armies in the game that can do that damage, don't you? Because or else you'll just get dominated by armies like the Blight Kings. There's another list that has 200 wounds of orcs. So if that output wasn't available, then those lists would just dominate.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, but a really fun weekend. Really, really fun. Last game was super fun to tune into. You guys should check out all of the matches from yesterday. It was just a delight. Really, really fun.
It's been great. And I'm all in on Archeon now. I love him.
I'm all in on goats.
All I need, man.
I'm all in on goats.
Archeon and a goat. That's what we need.
The true
An
power.
Archeon goat.
Goateon! That's what we need.
Here we go. We've solved it. The next model coming from GW.
All right, so it's just some special thank yous to everyone. Thank you to our players, anyone who performed on stream, all of my co-commentators. Adam, you've been wonderful today. Thank you so much. You've been a delight, so thank you to you. A huge thank you to everyone tuning in live. You guys are brilliant. I really appreciate you. If you want to support us, Patreon and Twitch, those are the ways to do it. Thanks so much. If you're watching on YouTube, thumbs, likes, subscribes, and all that business. Whatever. Special thank you to Matt, the unsung hero. Matt, there's a guy called Matt. He's always in the chat with the players, telling us the information, doing table bossing. It's an unsung job. He's a legend. He does an amazing job. So thank you to him as well. Thank you to everyone who's helped. You're all brilliant. It's been a lovely weekend. Can't wait. In fact, if you're interested in, for some reason, watching more of me, although I do a little talking, later tonight at 7:30, I've got Neil and Tom talking about WTC pairings for some WTC.
It's a great show.
It's a great show. It's a great show.
I
Tom
do
and
play
Neil.
40k and I'm super into it. Genuinely, it's super interesting.
It's really, really good. Yeah, so we're going to be doing that later tonight at 7:30. So Neil and Tom will be on. They'll be talking about the details of what's been happening at this WTC-themed TTS event. So Teams of 8 playing 40k. Really interesting stuff, honestly. It's super, super crunchy and nerdy, but I love it, and I think it's really, really fun. But it is, but it's really, really fun. Right, you guys are brilliant. Thank you so much. Love you all. Have a great day. Adam, you got any shout-outs before we go? You get a chance to do a shout-out.
To Matt Mallow. He lost a lot, and haha.
Yes, and yes, we are going to cover Matt Tyrrell's team event. In fact, actually, if you're interested in talking about Matt Tyrrell's team event, me and Adam are going to do a show on that on Thursday. Thursday day, 12 o'clock, we're going to be talking about the teams.
Big shocks.
Big shocks. Yeah, we're going to be talking about that. So that's Thursday. Friday, I think I'm doing the list review of the Vic GT. So loads of Age of Sigmar to come. So we'll talk to you guys soon. Have a great day. Yeah.